My sponsor Rock Bottom is currently running a special deal. Head on over to rockbottomcoins.com and use code Zirksee at checkout for a 30% off your order.
The whole thing wobbin', wobbin', wobbin'. When I come around, got the whole thing wobbin'.
What's going on, guys? It's Zirksee coming at you today with another YouTube video. And today, I'm going to be going over my initial thoughts and feedback on the Madden 20 beta and the gameplay itself. So, before I get into anything else, I do want to say this. If you guys are yourself playing the beta, please, link is in the description. Go down, or actually I'll pin it as the top comment, the way it's a little bit easier for you guys to find it in the comment section. The top comment, the pinned comment, will be a link to the Madden 20 beta forums. If you guys are playing the game, the only possible way we can make this game better is to use the forums, and of course I will be making videos like this, and other YouTubers will be making videos going over their feedback, and I'm sure the EA themselves will also take a look at this. Now obviously I cannot show you guys the Madden 20 beta gameplay, so in the background there's going to be some Madden 19 gameplay. Really wish it could be Madden 20 to show you guys if you don't happen to have the beta, because honestly the first thing I'm going to get into about the Madden 20 beta is the graphics and the details. Like, I honestly feel as though a lot of people might skip over this part and just strictly talk about the gameplay, but the look of the game itself is honestly very, very cool. If you guys are to go ahead and before you actually pick a team in the beta, if you go ahead and play head-to-head, or if you play versus a friend, like I played a game versus another YouTuber, Eric Grayweather, you guys probably know him, we actually went ahead and played a head-to-head game just to mess around and lab some stuff, and in there, the details were really, really awesome. There were some super, super cool screenshots I wish that I could show you guys about the X Factor players on every single team. It was super freaking cool. Not only that, but just like some other details. The scoreboard looks really, really good. And overall, I like the attention to detail that EA actually has in the game. And also just the look and the feel of the game in general. The feel of the game feels very, very smooth. And I know it's a new game, so I'm trying not to be any biased at all towards it. I'm trying to give you guys my realistic opinions on it. But I really feel as though this game is fun. Like, I actually have quite a bit of fun playing the Madden 20 beta, and of course this could change. I'll have my my final feedback for you guys on Sunday whenever I decide to play some more games. Of course, I've been playing games basically all day, trying to get in as many games as I can, and I even wrote down some notes. So I don't have face cam because I'm reading off basically a notepad that I wrote down with a ton of things to go over. So basically, in my opinion, the game feels really good. It's pretty fun, and the attention to detail is also really good. Now let's get into some gameplay stuff. Now, I guess we should get into what I think is really good about the gameplay, besides the fact that I feel like it's very smooth. It just basically runs very, very smooth, and it feels pretty good when you're playing the game. I feel as though the jukes and spins are honestly pretty good. The spins and jukes are, I think the juke moves are actually like maybe even better than spin moves, at least for my personal opinion. And the juke animations themselves are super, super cool. Like the juking animations, I wish I could show you guys these, are so freaking cool. If you guys play beta, you know what I'm talking about, where like sometimes you'll hit a juke move and your running back will literally place his arm on the defender and like throw them out of the way when you juke. It's a super cool animation as well. Something else that I think is actually pretty cool, and you guys are probably like as well, is that jet sweeps are actually really good. Like, in my personal opinion, I have used a ton of jet sweeps online, and I think about 90% of the time they work. And even when usually it's going to be a linebacker who's running up the middle of the field will try and stop you, if you have a fast enough wide receiver like say Brandon Cooks or Tyreek Hill who's running the jet sweep, you can honestly just go back a little bit and usually evade them. Now, I think it is pretty important that we go over the flaws of this game, and I think there are a couple. I honestly feel as though this has the potential to be a very, very good Madden in terms of gameplay. The thing I'm going to go over first, and I think this is the number one thing that I've seen everywhere on the forums, on Twitter, is the windup of the quarterback. The quarterback release time is very, very slow. Now, me and Eric actually labbed this a little bit as well, and we had a little discussion about this as well. So essentially, the release time of your quarterback is very, very slow. It's going to be pretty hard, and I don't necessarily know if they need to tune this or if maybe people just have to get used to it, of course, from playing, Madden 19 or so. But basically, Madden 20 release time is super hard, and it takes a second to throw. Now, something I've noticed as well, if you try to run, say, a play-action wide receiver screen, it definitely takes a second for you to throw the ball out there. So in my opinion, running play action wide receiver screens, yeah, not the smartest idea. I really don't think they're going to be working too well in Madden 20 because of how long it takes to actually get the ball out of your hands. And another thing to go with that is it's super, super hard to throw the ball deep. Now, I think the second thing we need to address, this could possibly even be the first thing, but I know a lot of people have had some very mixed feedback on this. Pass rush. The pass rush is super, in my opinion, possibly overpowered. It gets there very quickly. Now, obviously, a lot of people are saying, well, that's how it is. It's realistic because you don't even have that much time in the pocket in real life that we have in Madden. That being said, to pair with the fact that you cannot throw the ball very quickly makes this game kind of hard if your opponent is blitzing. If you have a free rusher up the middle, let's say that you blitz 5 or possibly 6, if you just overload the line of scrimmage, you can kind of see right there, literally Madden 19 gameplay, Aaron Donald just got the sack on Patrick Mahomes. It's basically like that. If you have a free rusher up the middle, the play is dead. There's nothing you can do, essentially. You can't throw the ball away because obviously throw it away, you're going to get a penalty. And you can't even have enough time to throw it in the flats, which I've seen a lot. Like, they'll be blitzing, me and Eric lab this, and someone will come screaming up the middle. I try to throw it in the flats, but because of the slow release time, you literally don't have enough time to even throw it into the flats if there's a blitzer up the middle, which would lead to a lot of people literally just running like mid-blitz, and they'd be perfectly fine because you legit do not have enough time to throw the ball to the flats. So that's a big issue is the quarterback, how long it takes them to wind up the ball. Sometimes I'll be sitting there, I'll try to throw like a streak or something, and it really just takes so long for you to be able to load up the ball and chuck it deep that you don't really have enough time for your wide receivers to even get like 35 yards down the field, and you're already getting sacked. Which sounds like quite a bit, but if you run 4 verticals or something like that, you probably wait to throw the ball until they're about 30, 35 yards down the field. And in Madden 20, you really can't do that. Now, that does take advantage of the crossers, though, and a lot of people in Madden 19 love to run crossing routes. You basically can't in Madden 20. You can't run a lot of crossing routes because there's going to be such a big pass rush. Now, I did play online. I know that if you play like the Pro Bowl mode, it's bad with the pass rushers because every single one of those pass rushers in the Pro Bowl mode are obviously extremely good, and the pass rush is ridiculous. Playing online versus someone like Aaron Donald or Frank Clark, you can really tell the difference between an elite pass rusher and someone that's not. I think my last game, Aaron Donald had 5 sacks. It's pretty dang bad. So expect the pass rush to be very good in Madden 20. Now, should they nerf it? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if they should nerf it. If they tune it down at all, it'll go back to being like the Madden 19 pass rush. And I like that you actually have a good pass rush if you have a good player. It's nice to see, but there's in between that and someone just sending 6 or 7 people at you and you legit cannot do a single thing about it. So kind of annoying with that. But something else to go over is usering. So basically, if you didn't know, we already knew this was going to happen with Madden 20 usering, is that if you user a linebacker or a defensive lineman basically, jumping with them is not going to be very easy. So I think I was about 1.5 yards in front of a receiver. The ball got thrown right over my head with a linebacker. So very close, and you really will not be able to bait a lot of things. Like say someone's running a 6-yard in route. In Madden 19, you could easily just hover near the line of scrimmage, and if you have a decent jumping linebacker like Roquan Smith, Ryan Shazier, you could jump up and easily get the interception. In Madden 20, you can't do that. You legit have to be right next to the receiver in order to get an interception. So it definitely makes it a lot harder to get user alerts. Something I will say, though, I think this may be the new meta in Madden 20, is running a safety at middle linebacker. If you don't know how to do that, just go into like big dime, and you can sub in a safety or a cornerback at middle linebacker, and I honestly feel as though that will be the way to do it in Madden 20. If you have a Cam Chancellor type of strong safety, you can put them at middle linebacker, and if they have high enough jumping, the ability to jump up because they're not a linebacker, they should have better jumping than linebackers, and they'll be able to stop the run because the Cam Chancellor type is actually pretty good at block shed. That's probably the move for Madden 20, in all honesty, in my opinion. So that is something that's very big. The users, I feel like you need to add a little bit of jumping. There was also another player where I was like, literally my hand might have been in the receiver's pocket. I was so close to him, and the ball got thrown. I got aggressive caught on. So aggressive catch is still going to be a little bit of an issue. Another thing is that I think that honestly, RPOs are extremely fun to use in Madden 20. And in general, I feel as though it's going to bring another aspect of the game that is going to be super fun, especially the alert one. In my opinion, I've played with basically all of the RPOs, and I feel as though the alert is very good. It also seems like the stretch run play is pretty good. So if you like to run that stretch play and then have the wide receiver on the slant, in my opinion, that's the most fun one to use. And I had like an 80-yard touchdown earlier as well with that, because if you just have a fast enough wide receiver over there on the alert where you can fake the stretch, and if you have a good enough running back, you're probably going to try and stop the running back, and then you can just quickly throw the slant route to the very fast wide receiver and take it all the way to the house. Now, something I think a lot of people were a little bit worried about was the fact that with all these X Factor abilities, is it going to be too OP? In my opinion, no, it's not too OP at all, because in order to activate these such abilities, you actually do need to do quite a bit in an online game. So for Todd Gurley to activate his ability, which basically gives you the next person that tries to attack you with a spin, a juke, or you try to hurdle or something, it basically gives you a very good chance to be able to execute that, and your opponent will fail at tackling you. In order to do that, you have to get 5 runs of 10 plus yards, and for Aaron Donald to activate his Fearmonger, which basically what that does is it allows you to go ahead and apply heavy pressure to the QB even while you're blocked. So that's pretty crazy. You need to get 3 sacks. Now, with the pass rush in this game, it's definitely doable, but it's not like you're going to get 3 sacks with just specifically Aaron Donald in a game. So you definitely have to work to go ahead and get yourself those abilities unlocked. So in my opinion, I don't feel as though the X Factor abilities are too overpowered at all, like literally at all. Another thing I will say is this one's maybe just myself, but I really don't think the strip ball is really good enough. I have tried, if you know me, I literally go for strip balls probably every single time that I tackle, which honestly it seems like in Madden 20. Maybe you should go for hit sticks, but I haven't got a single fumble, and I've probably played about 6 or 7 online games, and I've not gotten one single fumble online. Now, this also could be the fact that sometimes you go for the strip, and it appears though Madden 20, you really have to be right next to them to go for the strip. You will miss by a long shot if you try to go for a strip like you would in Madden 19, where you kind of lunge forward a little bit and get the strip animation. In Madden 20, you really can't do that. But overall, after playing just a few games of Madden 20, probably about 6 or 7, maybe even 8 games, I think, in Madden 20 total, I think my biggest problem with the game is the quarterback wind-up speed, just how long it takes to get the ball to your hand, and the pass rush is definitely very overpowered. Now, I wouldn't have a problem with the pass rush being super OP if it wasn't for the fact that you winding up to throw the ball is so slow. I would be okay with the pass rush being good as it is right now, if I could just dump it down to the flats if my opponent were to send a blitz. But you legit can't do that. That's my only issue with this game currently, and besides that, I don't think I've played enough games to write down enough feedback to give you guys besides that. So on Sunday, I'll have to give you guys my final feedback on the Madden 20 beta, but so far, that's my opinion. Overall, I really like the game. I just think there's a few things that do need to be tuned. And of course, guys, please, if you're playing the Madden 20 beta, leave your comments down below with your guys' opinions on the game. And also, please leave them also in the forums. I will leave a link. It will be the top pinned comment. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. And if you did, smack the like button, subscribe, and comment. Make sure you guys turn that notification bell on so you guys get notified whenever I do upload another Madden 19 Ultimate Team video, or of course, a Madden 20 video as well. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time.